friends, a very good afternoon to all of you and a warm welcome once again on the YouTube channel of BYJU'S Exam Prep. I'm sure that all of you must be excited about MHCT examination that is expected to happen in the next month. So yes, we do have tentative dates for MHCT 2023 and the tentative dates as per the official website of CET Maharashtra are 18th and 19th of March. So keeping our fingers crossed, since we all have planned for this examination, we all are preparing wholeheartedly for this examination. So I hope all of you would not like this examination to be postponed. So friends, welcome back once again on YouTube channel of BYJU'S Exam Prep. I'm Gaurav Gupta, and today I'll be discussing the 30 days strategy for MHCT 2023. So I hope sir, is the exam gonna be postponed? Om Bagal, we have just discussed this thing. So first of all, frankly telling you, I'm not the official person who is in the Department of Education for conducting this examination. Now, since CET has decided to come to basically conduct this examination on 18th and 19th, so it might be possible that because of some because of some reasons the examination may be postponed, but as this examination date was already launched a month back, so I believe the Department of Education will definitely try to conduct this examination on the given dates. All right. So Bill Gates is saying that exam is postponed. No, Bill Gates. I have checked this morning only, and there is no such notification on the official website of CET. All right. So I believe that the examination will be conducted on 18th and 19th of March only. But in case there is any kind of news regarding the postponement of the examination, so we don't have any such news, any such official news as far as this day is concerned. Okay, so probably future में date postpone हो सकती है, but today's scenario says that we have somewhere around 30 days for this examination. And yes, I am here in front of you once again to discuss what strategy we should follow as far as this examination is concerned. All right. Now, let us begin this session with first of all understanding what will be the agenda of this session. So, at the beginning, like 5 to 6 minutes, I'll be discussing about the pattern of this examination and the areas we need to focus on. Since I've already discussed this particular thing in my previous session, that was a 60-day strategy, which I conducted a month back in the month of January. I hope some of you have seen that session. Okay, so I have discussed both these things, and apart from these, I have discussed some other things as well. So I'll be spending very less amount of time as far as the pattern and the areas we need to focus on, because since we are towards the end stages, we are towards the last stages of our preparation, I believe that all of you would be knowing about the pattern and the areas you need to focus on. The most important thing that we are going to discuss here is the strategy for the next 30 days. All right. Aditya says, when I checked last, the registration process hadn't begun. Yes, definitely, Aditya. So registration abhi start nahi hua hai. So we are expecting the registration to start in a few days from now. And based on that, I can say that yes, 18-19 thoda sa difficult lag raha hai, but let's see what Department of Technical Education for CET has for us in their kitty. All right, so let's begin with this session quickly talking about the tentative dates. So tentative dates as per the official website are 18th and 19th of March 2023. All right, we all know this thing. Now the marking scheme and the time allocation for this examination, again as per the official website for MHCT 2023 examination, is in front of you. Now we all know that since last 2 years the exact pattern is not followed by this examination, so we'll be talking about that as well. Okay, Bill Gates, your score was 70. Bill Gates, the score is pretty low. So try to achieve a score which is somewhere in the range of if I talk about today, so try to achieve somewhere around 100 plus, and which can be improved further. And you must target somewhere around 125 or 130 marks at the end of the day. All right. Okay. Now, this is the official marking scheme as per the website. So we are expecting to have 75 questions on logical reasoning, 25 questions on abstract reasoning, 50 on quantitative aptitude, which also includes data interpretation, and 50 questions on verbal ability and reading comprehension. Now a total of 200 questions. So marks per question will be 1. And as you can see, the maximum marks for each and every section. So logical reasoning 75, abstract reasoning 25, quant and verbal 50 each. Now this examination will have a total of 200 questions, and all these questions will be multiple choice objective type questions. Each of these questions will have 5 options. There will not be any negative marking as far as wrong attempts is concerned. A total of 150 minutes will be given to you to attempt all these 200 questions. The medium of the examination will be English. Mode of the examination will definitely be online, right? So +1 for every correct, and there is no negative marking. So you can attempt all the questions that will be there in this examination once you are done with the proper attempts from your side. All right. Till when is All India mock of BYJU'S available? So it is available up till 19th of February. All right. Okay. So this is the marking scheme and the time allocation. Now, one good thing about this examination is there is no sectional time limit, because in the last 2 years we have seen the paper in the jumbled manner. All right. So you will not be getting these separate sections if I'll go by the pattern of last year. Okay, so we don't know what will happen this year, but if I'll talk about the last year's pattern, so all these 200 questions came in a jumbled format, which we'll be talking about in a few moments from now. All right. Okay. Now moving ahead, talking quickly about the areas we need to focus on. So first section is quantitative aptitude. Now, 5 areas of quantitative ability, that is arithmetic, algebra, number systems, geometry, and modern maths. So these are the 5 areas that you need to prepare as far as quantitative aptitude is concerned. Now, since this section also will have the questions of data interpretations, so you need to focus on data interpretation as well as far as this section of quantitative aptitude is concerned. Now you can expect somewhere around 2 to 3 sets from data interpretation, at least 2 to 3 sets from data interpretation, right? Now if I'll go as per the pattern of last year, we cannot determine which area is more important as far as the 5 areas of quantitative aptitude is concerned. In one of the papers, we saw 0 questions from number systems, and in one of the slots, we saw more than 15 questions. Yes, guys. So एक slot ऐसा था जिसमें number system से कोई भी question नहीं आया था, and there was one slot in which there were more than 15 questions of number system that appeared. Similar is the case with arithmetic, algebra, geometry, and modern maths. So all these areas are equally important, because you will never know which area will be asked more in the slot in which you will be taking your examination. All right. Now, Rishikesh, probable exam date we have already discussed. It will be 18th and 19th of March. All right. Okay. So these are the areas that you need to prepare for quantitative aptitude. Obviously, you must be preparing for these areas in the last few months, right? I'm just reiterating all these things quickly. Now, areas to be focused in reasoning section. Now, reasoning section, there are 2 sections which are based on reasoning. So one is logical reasoning and one is abstract reasoning. Now, in abstract reasoning, you will find questions which will be based on visual reasoning. So I'll keep it separately, and we can expect somewhere around 25 questions from visual reasoning. Talking about last year, there were instances when there were as many less as 15 questions that were asked from visual reasoning, abstract reasoning. So 15 questions the in one of the slots, and in one of the slots, like in which I took the examination, there were 23 questions on visual reasoning. All right. So ranging from 15 to 25, you can expect any number of questions on visual reasoning that will come in the section of abstract reasoning, which according to the official website should contain 25 questions. All right. Now talking about logical reasoning. Now logical reasoning section can further be divided in two parts. All right. One is quant based reasoning and one is verbal based reasoning, as you can see on the left hand side and the right hand side of your screen. Now if I talk about quant based reasoning, the areas like coding, decoding, series, alphabetical series, numerical series, alphanumeric series, all right, direction senses, blood relations, arrangements and groupings, the questions which are based on input output sequences, Venn diagrams, ranking based questions. So all these comes under quant based reasoning. So out of 75 questions, you can expect somewhere around 35 to 40 questions coming from quant based reasoning. Now as far as verbal based reasoning is concerned, so the topics which are written on the right hand side of your screen: logical consistency, analogies, statement, arguments, cause and effect, syllogisms types questions. So these comes under the area of verbal based reasoning, and somewhere around 30 questions can be expected from this portion. All right. Now moving ahead and looking at the third section, from which you can expect somewhere around 50 questions. So areas to be focused on verbal ability and reading comprehension. So obviously reading comprehension, last year we saw an average of 3 to 4 sets coming in each and every slot. So starting from three, there were some slots in which there were three reading comprehensions. There were some slots in which there were four reading comprehension. Somewhere around 15 to 16 questions were asked on which were based on those reading comprehensions. Right. So I can say that reading comprehension is a very important portion, and the length of the passages was average to below average. Okay. Now, apart from RC, sentence correction, finding error in the sentence. Now, these errors can be based on grammatical mistakes, right? Vocabulary based questions like antonyms and synonyms. Further, fill in the blanks which are based on word usage or grammar, idioms and phrases, some foreign language words, and finally the para jumbles. So these are the most important areas that you need to focus on when it comes to verbal ability and reading comprehension section. All right. Avantika is asking how many puzzles set usually asked in CET. So Avantika, like you can expect somewhere around 2 sets based on puzzles. All right, उससे ज़्यादा नहीं पूछे जाते. Okay. So again, puzzles type questions are also very important when it comes to this examination. Rishikesh, you are asking any chance of postpone, forms are not yet out. Yes, Rishikesh, it may be possible, but as of today, we will prepare ourselves for 18th and 19th of March. ओके अगर तुम यही सोचते रहोगे कि यार एक्सपेक्ट हो सकता है पोस्टपोन हो सकता है एग्जामिनेशन एंड thinking about that you will be lenient in your studies, then it may prove fatal for you. Okay, so it will be better to prepare for 18th and 19th of March. All right, and in case the examination will be postponed, then you will get some buffer time for some more revision for this examination, and that will also be beneficial for you. All right, so keep in mind the examination date as 18th and 19th of March and prepare accordingly. All right, now friends, moving ahead to the most important area, to the most important part of this section is the strategy. Now, for strategy, first of all, we need to know what were the important highlights as far as MHCT MBA 2022 was concerned, right? Now, the first 3 points are very important. Okay. Now, the first thing is the examination was in jumbled manner. That means the sections were not separated. जैसे नॉर्मल एक एग्जामिनेशन में होता है दैट यू विल गेट सेक्शन नंबर 1 लेट्स से ऑफ वर्बल एंड आरसी, सेक्शन नंबर 2 फॉर क्वांट, सेक्शन नंबर 3 फॉर रीजनिंग एंड सो ऑन. So last year in all the slots in which the paper happened, none of the slots had separate sections. All right, so all the slots had jumbled papers. All right, jumbled questions. Also, one very important thing that we noticed in the last year examination was there were jumbled questions as far as the sets for any part is concerned. So let us consider a data interpretation set having 4 questions. So generally what we see is all the 4 questions coming together when they belong to a particular set of data interpretation. This was not the case in the last year. So last year कैसा था? If there was a set of data interpretation having 4 questions, so these 4 questions were also jumbled. These 4 questions were also separated and they were not put together. So let's say question number 7 was the first question of data interpretation set. Then question number 20 was the next. Question number 35 was the next. And it happened like this. All right. So obviously this is very irritating, but that is how it was in the last year. And it was similar for all the students. So we cannot complain because it was same, the pattern was same for all the students. So no student was given any extra advantage as far as the pattern of this examination is concerned. All right. The next important point about the last year was the overall level of difficulty was moderate. So there were plenty of questions which lie in the range of easy to moderate level of difficulty. Very few questions which you can leave also. Very few questions were in the level of difficulty of which was very high. All right. So majority of the questions were from moderate to easy level of difficulty. Now, despite of some glitches which happens every year, last year it happened. So there were some glitches as far as the beginning of the examination is concerned, but that was tech glitches and you don't have any control on that. Other than that, there was some grammatical errors as well. Okay, when it comes to the section of VARC in some of the slots. But again, it is fine because all these questions were removed. So in case you will find some grammatical errors, so please don't waste your time on that question and you can move to the next question. Now, Shreya, I have just explained uh, the meaning of jumbled questions when it comes to sets. So if in a set there are 4 questions, if in a set of data interpretation there are 4 questions, so all these 4 questions were not given together. All right, so these were not given together. So these questions were also separated. I'll tell you definitely how to deal with this kind of scenario. Okay, so now these were the highlights of the last year. Let's talk about the strategy. Now, as discussed in the month of January, in one of the sessions in which I explained the 60-day plan or the 60-day strategy. So here it is, the highlights that I discussed and the timeline that I have given to some of the students. I don't know if you have followed this timeline or not, but definitely if those students, if there are some students who have followed this timeline, then they must be going on track as far as the preparation of this examination is concerned. All right, and they will be in a comfortable position. So we discussed that till the first week of February, we need to focus on our basics. Now, when it comes to basics, we need to look at the fundamentals. All the fundamentals should be in place till the first week of February. And based on these basics, you must practice some of the questions which are given along with these basics concepts. All right, so जो solved examples होते हैं, थोड़ा बहुत practice exercise होती है, which is given at the end of every chapter. You need to finish all that part up till the first week of February, which has already gone, right? Then the next timeline was up till the third week of February, which has just started. Third week of February start हुआ है. So after first week of February, in the next 2 or 3 weeks, you need to focus on your revision and the practice. Now, revision of the previous concepts based on the questions that you are practicing. So if you are already in this phase and you are practicing some questions, so obviously there is no need to revise each and every concept separately. So what you need to do is you need to practice some questions. Now these questions which you are practicing should be from the sectional tests, the topic based test, or I can say the area wise test. All right. So you must be practicing from these things, from these papers, and based on the practice that you are doing, do the analysis of each and every test, and then based on that analysis, do revise some of the concepts that you would have forgotten by now. All right. So this revision will be driven by the practice that you are doing. Then from 4th week of February onwards, let's say somewhere around 25th of February. All right, somewhere around 25th of February, you can start with your mock test series, and in between those mock papers, you can keep some days in which you are going to revise some of the previous concepts that you would have forgotten. So I'll throw a proper light on this particular thing. All right. So let us discuss the 30-day strategy starting today. Right. Now, as like we have seen, if there are some students who are following the strategy that we have planned in the month of February, so you must be in the phase where you are doing the practice of all the concepts that you have already finished, and based on this practice, you are doing a proper revision. So let us break both these things one by one. Okay, so the first phase is revision and practice, and I can say that this should be done up till 25th of February. So I'll open a blank sheet and let us talk about how to do all these things up till 25th of February. So the first timeline, the first deadline is 25th of February. Now we still have 10 days to go. So today we are sitting on 15th of February, and in the next 10 days, how you need to plan your studies. Now, first and the foremost important thing is you need to take out a lot of time, a lot many hours every day, which should be dedicated towards MHCT MBA 2023 preparation. Now, minimum number of hours that you need to take out every day should be 10. So I'll keep writing everything. So 10 hours every day, right? So this is the minimum that I'm talking about. Now, if you are targeting JBIMS, if you're targeting some top colleges from this examination, then 10 hours is still very less amount of time. If you're targeting JBIMS, which is considered as one of the top 5 colleges of the country, then spending more than 10 hours is required up till CET examination. All right. Okay. Now, if let's say you are taking out these 10 hours on daily basis, so what you can do is every day you can touch all the three areas. All the three areas means quant, verbal, as well as reasoning. So you can divide these 10 hours as per as per your strength and weakness. Okay, so let's say if I am weak in VARC, so I can allocate 4 to 5 hours on daily basis on VARC. Then the remaining time can be given to quant and reasoning. So let's say quant, I can give 2 hours on daily basis, and reasoning, I can give 3 hours. Now, what to do in these hours? So I've taken an example of 10 hours. Now, if you are taking out 12 hours on daily basis, then you can spend 5 to 6 hours on verbal RC or whichever area you are weak at, and then divide the remaining time accordingly in the next two sections. Okay, I'm just taking an example. You can modify these things, you can customize these things as per your strengths and weaknesses. But this is the minimum amount of time that you need to devote on daily basis towards the studies. Okay. Now in this, let's say 4 to 5 hours of VRC, which should come at the beginning of the day. So I'll advise all of you to keep verbal RC for the first half of the day. So as soon as you wake up, get ready and start studying, and you can start from reading comprehension passages. So on daily basis, solve at least 5 RC passages. That should not take more than 2 hours. 5 RC passages, 2 hours, definitely 10 to 12 minutes to solve every passage. In 1 hour, you will be done with 5 RC passages, and then 1 hour should be dedicated towards the analysis of these RC passages. So you must need to analyze your mistakes, if you can save some time upon any question. So all these things to be done immediately once you are done with these 5 RC passages at a stretch. तो ये जो 5 RC passages हैं ये at a stretch करने हैं, and you need to note down the time that you are taking to solve each and every RC passages. All right. So on an average, 8 to 10 minutes should be spent on every RC passages. उससे ज़्यादा नहीं होना चाहिए. Okay, fine. So generally RC passages जो हमने MHCET में देखे हैं, so they contains somewhere around 6 to 7 questions. Okay, even if it's a 4 question RC passage, you can spend 5 to 6 minutes for that. All right. So जितने भी questions हैं, let's say there are 6 questions, so maximum amount of time that you need to spend on an RC passage should be 8 to 9 minutes. इससे ज्यादा नहीं होना चाहिए. Right. Now 2 hours are done for RC passages. You can increase the number of passages if you want. Then after that, just select one area. Let's say you have decided to do para jumbles and some grammar questions. All right. So spend somewhere around 1.5 hours on this and 1.5 hours on this, and your quota for verbal RC is over. All right. So if I talk about the next 10 days, reading comprehension should be done on every day. So you can do somewhere around 4 to 5 RC passages on every day. And then the remaining areas for verbal ability can come in a sequence. So today, if you are doing parajumbles and grammar based questions, tomorrow you can pick up vocabulary and fill in the blanks and so on. So keep rotating these areas as far as VARC is concerned. Okay, this should be followed up till the next 10 days. That means up till 25th of February, right? Now, the second part is quantitative ability. Okay, now for QA, again, you have the entire QA divided in 6 parts. So there are 5 areas of quant and 1 data interpretation, right? So let's say today you started with arithmetic. Okay, so arithmetic is further divided in 4 different areas: percentages and its applications, ratios and its applications in averages, mixtures, allegations, time, speed, distance, time and work. All right. So divide all these areas in the topics. So let's say today you started with arithmetic and you finished percentages and its applications, and then ratios and its applications. So whatever the entire syllabus of quant is, divide it in 8 to 10 days. जितना भी quant का syllabus है उसको 8 to 10 days में divide करो, and every day pick up 2 or 3 topics and finish them. All right. डेली अगर सिर्फ एक ही टॉपिक फिनिश करोगे तो काम नहीं चलेगा. सो अर्थमेटिक आज क्या करना है? परसेंटेजेस एंड इट्स एप्लीकेशंस. लेट्स से यू डू इट फॉर 1.5 hour, and then ratios and its applications for another 1 hour. Fine, you'll be done because this is the revision. You are not looking at the concepts, you are doing the revision. All right. Guys, I'll be answering to all your questions in a few moments. Okay. Let me first of all quickly finish off with this. Okay. So आज आपने 2 टॉपिक किए, then कल आपने 2 टॉपिक किए, then you started with algebra finish कर लिया एक दिन में, then you started with geometry, modern maths, number systems and so on so forth. So make sure that you have divided the entire syllabus of quant for the next 10 days, right? Now every second day you can devote 1 hour on data interpretation every second day. So in the next 10 days, make sure that for 5 days you are spending 1 hour on data interpretation, and it should not be like you are spending these 5 days consecutively. No, every alternate day you must do data interpretation for a minimum of 1.5 hour. Right? Done. Now let's look at the next part, reasoning. Now reasoning, again, it is divided in two parts. So you must spend at least 3 hours on daily basis on reasoning, right? Now, you can either divide these 3 hours into equal parts, 1.5 hour and 1.5 hour. First 1.5 hour you can go for quant based reasoning, and the second 1.5 hour can be devoted to verbal based reasoning, or you can do it on alternate days. So let's say today for 3 hours you have solved, or like you have taken some of the topics which are based on quant based reasoning, and tomorrow for the next 3 hours you have taken verbal based reasoning, right? So आज अगर start कर रहे हो, so you can focus on areas like coding, decoding, blood relations, Venn diagrams. So decide some 2 or 3 topics for the day, finish off with them, and then for tomorrow you can go for verbal based reasoning and so on. You can switch it, you can keep switching between logical reasoning areas, and you can divide all these areas equally in the next 10 days, right? Also, every third day, so every third day, you must solve at least 30 questions on abstract reasoning. All right, every third day. So in the next 10 days, make sure that at least 3 days, minimum 3 days, you are spending 1.5 hour on these 30 questions of abstract reasoning, right? Abstract reasoning, we can expect somewhere around 25 questions as per the syllabus, as per the pattern of the examination. So this is also very important, right? So this is what you need to do for the next 10 days, right? Now looking at some questions, sir, can I start today basic syllabus? Now, Kshitija, Nikam, if you have not done anything, then definitely you need to squeeze this time. आप आज भी start कर सकते हो. Definitely you'll not be able to finish off with everything, but what you can do is जो भी टाइम है उसको थोड़ा स्क्वीज कर दो. जो मैंने 60 डे स्ट्रैटेजी का सेशन लिया था उसको देखो, एंड ट्राई टू फिट ऑल दोज थिंग्स in the next 30-35 days, whatever time is left for the examination. Okay, so basics agar karne hain, immediately start. So make sure that in the next 15 days you are done with the basics. Then 5 days ka practice rakho, and 10 to 15 days you can keep for the mock test series, right? From where we can practice VRC, Shreya, I think, don't you think that this is slightly a little late in asking this question? You guys are a little late in asking these questions. Avantika, what could be the source of RC passages which appears in CET? Where can I get last year paper of all the slots? Oh, you cannot get the papers because paper release nahi hote. Okay, so you can get memory based question over the internet. What is the good source of VR practice? So guys, those who are asking about the source of practice for any of these areas, in the market you will get enough study material. Okay, don't just rely on the online study material. Fine, so you can go to any bookstore and ask for MHCT, special MHCT based books. All right, so there are enough of authors, there are enough of publications who have written books on every section of MHCT examination. Please go ahead and buy some good study material from the market. Immediately do that. Please don't wait for it. Okay. Now, this is the strategy that I've discussed. This is the plan that I've discussed for the next 10 days. Now, starting 25th February or after 25th of February, now you need to get into the test series. Now for test series, every alternate day, so we will be having somewhere around 20 to 25 days if the examination will happen on 18th and 19th of March. So we have somewhere around 20 to 25 days for the test series, right? Now, initially what you can do is you can write the test every day. So let's say I start from 1st of February. Sorry, 1st of March. So I start from 1st of March. February may 28 days hai. Okay. So in February we have only 28 days. सो 25 फरवरी को थोड़ा सा और एक्सटेंड करोगे, 28 फरवरी तक आपका अगर रिवीजन और प्रैक्टिस फिनिश हो जाता है, एंड यू आर गोइंग टू स्टार्ट विद द टेस्ट सीरीज ऑन 1 March, देन फॉर द फर्स्ट 3 or 4 days, let's say for the first 3 days, you can take a test daily. So take a test on daily basis. So in the morning, let's say you start a test at 10 o'clock. So 2.5 hours का test है. So 10 से लेके 12:30 का ये time fix कर लो when you will be taking a mock test for MHCT examination. Now it needs to be a full length test. ऐसा नहीं है कि sectional test कर लिया solve. No, it needs to be a full length test. Right? Okay. Now let's say 10 to 12:30 आपने test किया for the first 3 days on daily basis. After 12:30, what you need to do is you need to look at the strategy that you have used. So for the first 3 or 4 days, you need to devise a proper strategy. Now, what should be this strategy? This is what we need to understand. Okay. Now, this paper, like there are higher chances that this year also the paper will come in the jumbled sequence. All right, there can be any kind of surprise for you, so please don't stick to any particular strategy, because on the examination day it may be possible that you will have to change your strategy, right? So we need to prepare ourselves for both the kind of scenarios. Let's say the paper will have all the sections separately, right? So अगर सारे के सारे sections separately हैं, the paper is not a jumbled paper, then what should be our strategy? So let us first of all discuss on that. Okay, so now we have 75 questions in logical reasoning, 25 questions in abstract reasoning, 50 questions in quant, and 50 questions in VARC. These are the 4 sections that we may expect to appear in MHCT 2023 examination if we don't have the jumbled paper like we have seen in the last year. Okay, so now you can start with any of these sections. Understand that you have only 150 minutes for these 200 questions. Okay, so when you are doing practice for each of these areas in the next 10 days, you need to understand, you need to be sure about which area or which topic or which section you are weak in and which is your strongest area, right? So what we can do is we can spend some more time in our strong areas. So let's say we are good in quant. So we need to finish all these 50 questions of quant and in minimum possible amount of time. So we need to attempt maximum number of questions in minimum possible amount of time because we are strong in this area. So let's say we decided to give somewhere around 35 minutes in quant. All right. Then we go to verbal section or any section and we spend somewhere around 40 minutes in this verbal ability section. 75 questions of logical reasoning. So already 75 minutes are over and we are left with 75 minutes only, right? So you can devote 50 minutes on this section and 10 minutes on this section, right? Now, after this, we are left with 15 minutes. Now, whenever I am attempting a paper which is divided in different sections, I always keep a buffer time of 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, so I will not divide the entire 150 minutes in the 4 sections. So let's say I'll give 30 to 35 minutes in quant, 35 to 40 minutes in verbal ability, 45 to 50 minutes in logical reasoning, and then 10 minutes in abstract reasoning. 10 minutes will be fine. Okay. All right. So 10 minutes will be fine. Now, after doing all these things, you will have 15 to 20 minutes of buffer time. Now, in these 15 to 20 minutes of buffer time, you need to spend this much amount of time in the section in which you have left some questions, because we have already seen those questions and you would have marked these questions that you need to attempt. Okay, so go back in any of these sections जहां पे तुम्हें लगता है कि some easy questions are still left and finish off with these questions. So ये जो 15-20 मिनट बचते हैं, 15 to 20 minutes which are left towards the end, you can devote all this time in one section, or you can divide these 15-20 minutes in different sections and then maximize your number of attempts. All right. So this is the strategy that I generally follow when we have a paper which is divided in different sections. Okay. Now, in case the paper is jumbled, then you cannot make any kind of strategy like this. So what you need to do is you need to focus on your speed, as well as understand that how much time is left and how many questions are left to be done. Okay, so when you have a jumbled paper, then you need to work on your average speed, right? So your average speed should be one question per minute. All right, so one question per minute की average speed से चलने की कोशिश करो in the entire examination. Okay, now after somewhere around 120 minutes, you must have attempted 100 plus questions. मैं attempt करने की बात कर रहा हूं, मैं read करने की बात नहीं कर रहा. So after somewhere around 120 minutes, somewhere around 100 questions should be attempted. Okay, then in the next 30 minutes, what you can do is you can keep last 5 minutes to mark flukes on all the attempts, on all the unattempted questions. So 30 में से 5 minutes unattempted questions के लिए रख लिए, and then 25 minutes ये जो है, try to utilize these 25 minutes to maximize the number of attempts. So this might be the buffer time that we have. Now, talking about the first 120 minutes, यहाँ पे क्या करना है? Now, in this 120 minutes, you have to keep going. You cannot afford to get stuck on any question. So 120 minutes में, you have to make sure that you have seen all those 200 questions. सारे के सारे 200 questions visit कर लिए हैं. I'm not asking you to attempt all these 200 questions. Okay? Fine. So 200 questions attempt nahi karne hain. Out of these 200 questions, you just need to select 90, 95 or maybe 100 questions, and you need to finish those questions. Making sure that you have selected all the easier or moderate level of difficulty questions in these 120 minutes and have finished them. जो भी difficult question आता है, जो भी lengthy question आता है, you can leave that question and you can always come back to that question in the buffer time. All right. So once again, I'm telling you, for the first 3 days of your test series, try to apply all these things, right? So the first 3 tests are definitely made for experiments. You can experiment in the first 4 or maybe first 5 test papers, right? So for the first 3 to 5 days, you can experiment on different kinds of strategies, all right? And then try to devise a proper strategy for yourself. Okay, so at the beginning of the test series, you can decide to apply one strategy. ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है कि first test में ही you will be able to apply this strategy. Okay, it is very difficult to keep a track of the time. All right, so in the first paper, try to go with this strategy that I have explained and check up to what level you are able to apply this. So let's say first 120 minutes may obviously you'll not be able to see all the questions, but you have seen 160, 170 questions. So that is also commendable and you can improve on this strategy for the next test. But if in the first test you are only able to see 100 or 110 questions in those 120 minutes, then you need to do a lot of practice as far as the selectivity and rejection of the question is concerned. प्रॉब्लम क्या होती है, हम जो भी क्वेश्चन देखते हैं हमारा मन करता है यार इस क्वेश्चन को अटेम्प्ट कर लेते हैं. ओके, नाउ सम ऑफ द क्राइटेरियाज दैट यू कैन यूज टू रिजेक्ट अ क्वेश्चन कैन बी द लेंथ ऑफ द क्वेश्चन. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, कोई भी एक क्वेश्चन है जिसकी लेंथ 4 to 5 लाइंस की है, डेफिनेटली उसको रीड करने में टाइम लगेगा. सो फॉर द टाइम बीइंग यू कैन लीव दैट क्वेश्चन. Also, if any question does not belong to your area of strength, then you can leave that question. There might be some topics which you don't like. You can leave all those questions for the time being, and later on in the buffer time, you can come back to these questions. So the agenda is in the first 120 minutes, you need to select all those questions which are small, which are less lengthy, and which specially lies from your area of strength. Just finish off those questions in minimum possible amount of time. So let's say this 120 minutes, 80 minutes में तुमने सारे क्वेश्चंस देख लिए and 80 minutes में 50-60 क्वेश्चंस सॉल्व कर लिए. Then again 40 minutes बचे हैं, तो उसमें और 20-30 क्वेश्चंस सॉल्व करने की कोशिश करो, and then you can divide. So this is how you can divide the entire 150 minutes in different parts. Make sure that you are leaving last 5 minutes and attempting each and every question. All right. So the questions which you have left unattempted, unko bhi attempt kar lo. Otherwise, if you think that a question is very difficult and you will never come back to that question. Okay. So in the first 120 minutes, ऐसे बहुत सारे questions मिलेंगे जो बहुत difficult है and you know that कुछ भी हो जाए तुम इन questions पे वापस नहीं आओगे. So उन questions पे immediately तभी की तभी fluke apply कर दो and there is no need to come back to these questions in the last 5 minutes. All right. So this is how you need to attempt each and every test of the test series, right? So for the first 4 or 5 days, you can devise which strategy that you are going to apply. Now, what after 5th of March? So let's say first 5 days you have taken a test on every day. Now after 5th of March, for the next 15 days, you can plan one mock paper every second day. So आज mock paper किया, एनालाइज किया उसको, आज कल भी उसको एनालाइज किया, एंड बेस्ड ऑन दैट you need to do revision of some of the topics which you would have forgotten. So entire 1.5 day. So आज 3 hours में आपने पेपर खत्म कर लिया, मॉक पेपर खत्म कर लिया. The remaining day today and tomorrow must be spent on revision of all the concepts which appeared in this mock paper. Then day after tomorrow, you take one more mock paper, do the same thing, do the proper analysis, learn from your mistakes, and then try not to repeat those mistakes again in any of the mock papers. So after you have made a proper strategy, then the next 15 days you can spend to attempt the mocks every second day and do a proper analysis and revise all the concepts based on that. All right. Okay, so this is what I have for all of you as far as 30-day strategy is concerned. Now, looking at some of the question, AS Agarwal, okay, RS Agarwal hona chahiye, RS Agarwal Quant, yes, it is good for MBA, but guys, make sure that whichever book you are buying from the market, that belongs to that should be a specialized book on MHCT. Because I've seen RS Agarwal is a wonderful book, but not everything that is given in RS Agarwal will be asked in MHCT examination. Okay? So you need to buy a specialized book for MHCT examination. Business Mathur, you are asking, will TIS release admit cards tomorrow for sure? How can I tell you that for sure they will be releasing the admit cards? Higher possibility that they will release the admit cards. Is there negative marking? No, Rishal, there is no negative marking. So which books are good for practice? So Kshitija, I have already told you that you can go to any of the bookstores and buy specialized book for MHCT. Okay. How to deal with RC passages? Abhijit, just practice. I have mentioned you on daily basis for the next 10 days, you need to practice at least 5 RC passages. RC passages first of all requires reading speed and interpretation skills. जल्दी रीड कर लिया, कुछ समझ में नहीं आया, फायदा नहीं होगा. So practice से ही perfection आएगी. So you need to practice at least 5 RC passages on daily basis. Good. Time to send on RCs, time to spend on RCs. Yes, daily basis to 1 to 2 hours on RC passages should be spent, as I have already explained in this session. Vishal is saying, sir, I got 109 marks in BYJU'S All India mock and I'm the first ranker in it as of right now. What are my chances for JBMS? Vishal, if you're scoring 109 marks as of today, then you have a wonderful scope of improvement and you can take the score up till 140 in the next 15 to 20 days. So yes, you have very good chances of getting into JBIMS. Obviously 109 at the end of the day will not be a target score, but you have scope for improvement, as if today you have got 109, after refinement of your score, after refining your skills, your strategy, in the next 15 to 20 days, it will be very easy for you to achieve a score of 140 marks, and that will help you in getting through JPIMS. All right. Great. So friends, that is all from my side for the day. Now some important information for all of you. New batches are available for the preparation of CAT 2023 examination. So the comprehensive program, the complete details of this comprehensive program are given on your screen. And if you want to join any of the batches, you can call at the number that is given at the bottom of the screen. If you want to join any of these CAT 2023 programs, so you can avail up till 90% scholarship on all the CAT preparation programs. There is a scholarship test that will be conducted on 18th of February at 7 p.m. So please do register for this examination. Also, those who are preparing for TestNet examination, we are going to start with last lap to TestNet 2023 from today onwards, that is 15th of February onwards, and daily you will find a session at 8 p.m. on the YouTube channel of BYJU'S Exam Prep. The next important information is about All India Open Mock Paper. A lot of you have already taken this examination. Now this examination will be live up till 19th of February. So please do register for this test and attempt this one. Friends, that is all from my side. You can get social with us on all these platforms. Thank you very much for being a part of this session. We'll see you once again with a lot of sessions on MHCT 2023. Till then, have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.